VigilanteWilliamson here with a very simple question, and that's who you got? Bivol or Beterbiev? Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev are finally fighting. There has been a lot in between this fight. You have politics, you have stuff because they're both Russian, even though Beterbiev, I guess, is considered Canadian for some reason. I know he does live in Canada, obviously, but still. And so that held the fight up, and then Beterbiev and his injuries, which will play a factor in my pick. And there's been a lot of stuff holding this fight up, and despite it being probably one of the best fights we can get and one of the best fights we could have gotten over the past few years, doesn't quite have that hype because neither is Western, neither is British or American. And you know, like I said, Beterbiev is sort of Canadian, secretly Canadian, but not really Canadian, right? He just trains out of Canada. That gives him some little political upside, I guess. I don't know, but because they're not Western fighters, it's kind of killed the hype. Unless you're a true boxing fan or a casual like myself who cares. You don't care, unfortunately, but I care. And spoiler alert, I'm picking Bivol. I'm probably gonna pronounce both names horribly. I probably already have. I'm picking Bivol. I mean, granted, there's a little bias. He's probably my favorite fighter. And ever since he beat Canelo, I kind of think he's one of the best boxers on earth, if not the, or at least one of the best deliverer of punches, one of the best offensive fighters, him and Terrence Crawford. Granted, Bivol is not known for his power, but I think he has a little bit more power than he gets credit for. He doesn't knock people out like Beterbiev does. I think Beterbiev was 19-0, 20-0, something like that. 20 KOs. I'm going off the top as I do with most of my videos. I'm not looking at box rec at the moment. Something along those lines. But Beterbiev keeps getting hurt. That has been a storyline, not just in this fight, but his past few fights. They get delayed because he gets hurt. And like I said, he does have some political edge because they haven't stripped those belts off of him. But when he does fight, he's dangerous. No doubt about that. Very dangerous fighter. But I just think all those injuries, all the wear and tear. I mean, he hasn't had that many pro fights, but I've talked about the Eastern European amateur system, which produces very good fighters, but unfortunately, they are in that system so long, a lot of wear and tear and damage that would ordinarily be in the pro ranks, they take as amateurs. That's the reason why even a guy like Lomachenko is probably on the tail end of his career after so many fights in the amateur system. Same with Usyk, same with Beterbiev, unfortunately. And he's 38, 39. He's had a lot of injuries. I think the wear and tear has gotten to him. I wish those guys, all three of those guys, great fighters. I wish they would have started just at least in their mid-20s, so we would have got more of them. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So as a result, all that wear and tear, I just don't think Arthur is going to have enough. Just enough. I don't think he has enough to beat Bivol. I think Bivol is one of the most skilled fighters on earth. And I could be wrong. I talked about the power gap. There is a power gap. Beterbiev is definitely the tougher fighter. I think more and more people probably say if this goes on the cards that Bivol will win, and if it's going to be a stoppage, Beterbiev is going to deliver the stoppage. I tend to agree with that. I think Bivol has a little bit more stopping power than he shows, but he's very good at protecting himself. He's not a defensive wizard or anything, but he rather protect himself than go in for the kill. He's not the type of guy who's going to take a punch to deliver a punch. He likes delivering punches safely. He likes delivering punches at a distance. And I don't know the reach stats. That may be that's the problem coming off the top. I don't know the reach stats offhand. So that may, be a factor that I'm not counting. Where, like I said, Bivol kind of wants to deliver punches safely. And if he can't, that would be a reason for going for Beterbiev. I don't know the reach. I'm going to just look it up. All right, checked it. And Bivol has a 72-inch reach. Beterbiev has a 73-inch reach, so Bivol doesn't have quite the reach advantage that he may enjoy in a lot of cases. But he does have the height advantage by an inch. They're basically the same height, same reach. Bivol's 6 feet. Beterbiev is 5'11 and a half. So, pretty much the same height, same reach. It doesn't necessarily mean Bivol is at a disadvantage or advantage. It's kind of just the same. So the reach really, I don't think is going to be a factor. It's not just he uses his length to his advantage. He uses skill. He's very skilled, referring to Bivol, at throwing punches and not getting hit in return. And I think he's tougher than people give him credit for. I also think he has more power than people give him credit for. He doesn't necessarily have that stopping power that people like, that gets people excited, but he has enough power to keep boxers honest. Similar to Usyk. I feel the same about Usyk, where he doesn't have that stopping power, that flash, that knock a guy out type power, but he has enough power to keep you honest. He has enough power to, there's a reason AJ, and maybe it's because he's chinny, didn't want to just be so aggressive against Usyk. And the same thing about a guy like Fury. I know I'm not talking about Bivol and Beterbiev, but it's the same type of power where it's like, yeah, it's not going to knock you out, but you're not going to go stupid aggressive. You're not just going to go pin your head back and just eat punches to deliver punches when you get hit by Bivol. You're going to think about it. He's going to give you something to think about. And I think he's going to outskill and outbox Beterbiev. Now, I get that you could argue inactivity for both. Yeah, Bivol's been more active, but he hasn't really fought as tough as competition. Not entirely his fault. Part of it is the fact that, guys like David Morrell and David Benavidez are waiting on the Canelo sweepstakes and got the thumbs in their ass. So, there's that. And then Beterbiev has had all these belts, so he's fought a little bit more tougher competition more recently when he does fight. I'm thinking about that Yard fight, which was a pretty good one. But also that Yard fight, a lot of people, the Brits can be up and down on their own fighters, right? So Anthony Yard is somebody a little up and down. I'll just move my hand like you can see me. He's been a little up and down on at least the perception of him. And I feel like going into that fight, a lot of people thought Beterbiev would make easier work of Yard than what he did. I think the fight was a little bit more of a firefight than once thought. So I know that was like 2 years ago, a year ago, year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. Now I'm on BoxRec, I can see. It was January of last year, so it's getting close to 2 years because this year's almost over. So, I thought that was a fight that kind of showed a chink in the armor for Beterbiev. He did beat up on Callum Smith a year later, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going with Bivol. He's my favorite fighter. I'm going with him. That's kind of it. I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. It wouldn't shock me if I'm wrong because I don't know shit about boxing and I get these fucking predictions wrong all the time. I don't even know why I do them. I do them, I guess, just because it's fun to do, but I get these fucking predictions wrong all the fucking time. So, take this shit with a grain of salt. I appreciate anyone watching this. So, if you like the video, do all that. All right, peace.